Good evening, YouTube family. It's Heather, the Malachite lady, here with another garden tour. Thanks for coming along with me today. I'm going to cut in some footage here of showing you the view from our front porch. So I hope you enjoy and stay tuned for the garden tour. Okay, I told you guys that I would take you on a journey out to the front of the house so you could see the view from my front porch. So I thought I would show you what I get to look out on every day. As you can see, I'm holding my camera level, just how steep our driveway is, but we pay for that view with the driveway. So that's the front of the house, the view. It's really cool. That valley occasionally will fill with fog and it looks just like an ocean of fog. It is really super cool. But that's my front yard with the evil Bradford pear trees. So there you go. And if you can see that transformer box down there at the bottom, one of my goals is to put a retaining wall around it from the front and plant it so that at least you can't see it from the road. You'll still be able to see it from behind, but maybe I can camouflage it a little bit. But there you go, the front yard. Okay, we're going to start up here on my slightly less messy deck, but it's still kind of a mess, and show you this honeycomb tomato that I have growing. I saved one of my seedlings so I could do one on the container to show you in a container to show you guys that you can in fact grow one. And I just want to pan up here, show you the use of a little bit more bamboo. It's about, I don't know, 8 feet tall or so. Thanks to Next Level Gardening for that tip. So we'll carry forth and see how that one does in a container. It is an indeterminate cherry variety. So we'll come over here. The strawberries aren't doing a whole lot. I have some bird netting on it to sort of save them, but we are getting some strawberries in there. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And up here on the deck, I've got some herbs started in these planters. So we've got, in this one, I have, let me look at my notes because apparently I can't brain today. I have, but this is why you keep notes, y'all. Keep your records. Okay, so in this first planter, I have some chives, and on the right-hand side, I'm growing a lupine flower. And kind of in the center of these two are going to be snapdragons, and then there's going to be a lupine on that end. And then in that planter, I have basil, just regular sweet basil. In this one, I have cilantro. And in this one, I have dill. And in that one, I have some sage. So I don't think they're doing much of anything just yet. I just planted that on the 16th, so it's only been a couple of days. So we're not really seeing much in there. So we'll go off the deck so I can show you the rest of the garden. And I apologize if you can hear my HVAC in the background. It's a little noisy. Okay, look at these potatoes, friends. They are just popping up all over. And I was watching a potato video with Luke over at MI Gardener. If you've not watched his channel and you like to grow organically, I highly recommend it. And he was saying that you can get, 2 or 3 potatoes per plant. So we're going to see how close to that estimate we are when these come up, because we've got a lot of plants in here, y'all. And since the foliage is nice and pretty, I'm going to hit them with a shot of bone meal in the next couple of days just to help their tuber production. So, a little shot of the backyard. It's very exciting. See, I couldn't do it without it today, apparently. Okay, so onions, going crazy. Those were planted on April the 5th, so they've been in a little over a month. So I'm gonna double check, but it's probably a few more weeks and then I can come out and spoon them. If you've not ever heard of that, it's just moving some of the soil away from the root bulb so that they can get a little bit bigger. And then the carrots, they're coming along nicely. And of course, the beets also doing well. And then the peas, they are climbing. They are climbing. We'll go around here to the back side of this netting and see what we see as far as our cucamelons. And it looks like we may be getting some cucamelons, friends. That's pretty awesome. I've never tried them. Hit me up in the comments if you've ever grown cucamelons. Or if you don't even know what they are, hit me up and I'll try to explain to you what they are. They're just a little teeny tiny. They're also known as Mexican sour gherkins and mouse melons, but they're about a grape tomato size, little cucumber-like thing that looks like a watermelon, tastes like a slightly sour cucumber. So we'll see. And here we have got cucumbers. I did lemon cucumber on this end and some slicing cucumbers on this end. They're either slicing or pickling. I'll have to double check my notes on that. But those went in on, of course I didn't write it down because that would just have made sense. But I'll check the notes and I'll put it down in the description, let you know when I planted them so you can kind of get an idea of how they're doing. And more onions. Again, these were also planted April the 5th. Okay, lettuce. I'm going to try not to back off into the deep bed, but I just wanted to kind of let you know what I've got planted where now that I've gotten my notes out here. So this first row right here is black seeded Simpson. The next one, I misspoke the other day and I said that it was red sails, but that looks like red sails to me, friends. I may have myself backwards and then that's actually Jericho. And then we've got salad bowl and these two right here are butter crunch. So this row right here is salad bowl. So it's a bunch of different kinds of lettuce. And the last two are butter crunch. So they're coming up really nice. I'm very happy. Well, like I said, we'll have a salad before we know it. And then in the front of that bed, I planted some nasturtiums, but it doesn't look like they're quite up yet. And that's okay. So we'll come around like we always do to look at the garden. It's coming along. I'm very, very happy with this, friends. You just don't even know. Okay. And these pots on either side of the entryway, there and there, those have sacred basil in them, but they are not coming up quite yet. Although it looks like they're starting to. So maybe by the next time we see each other, they will be. And that right there is the lantern that I told you all about the last time. And I caught some footage of it when it is in the dark, and so I'll edit that in so you can see what it looks like all lit up. It is pretty cool. And then my wind chime, because no garden is complete, in my opinion, without a wind chime. Okay. And we've got our Scarlet Emperor runner beans. They are doing well. Looks like I've got a little bit of bug damage. I'm gonna have to check that out, see what's going on. But when you're an organic grower, you tend to kind of leave it until it takes over the world, as it were. And then this weekend I got in my sweet potatoes. I have absolutely no idea what kind these are because the 2 potatoes were gifted to me from a fellow organic gardener. And I grew the slips myself, so we shall see. I've never grown sweet potatoes before, so wish me luck. And the coneflower is doing well over in the pollinator pot. And then the tomatoes, I did want to bring out my notes because I've been meaning to tell you guys what I've got planted this year. I've been putting it in the description of what I've planted, but not what and where. So this first row here is green zebra. Then this row in the middle is artisanal butter bumblebee blend. Those were seeds that were gifted to me. They came up fine, they grew fine, so we shall see. Again, these are all indeterminate varieties, cherry size or so. And then this row here is a hybrid called Shimmer. So very exciting there. And we are so happy to see you little plants. These are my spaghetti squashes. They have finally come up. Looks like I maybe have dropped 2 seeds into that one hole. So I may end up with a lot more spaghetti squash than I intended to. And then we've got one little guy coming up right there. So they are coming along. Good germination there. And then the zucchini. Again, they haven't done a whole lot since the last time we visited. But that's okay. They're still looking healthy. And then we're starting, I don't know if you can see them right there. We've got a watermelon coming up. Got another one right there. And then in the front here, I did some nasturtiums. I did jewel blend, cherry rose, and mahogany nasturtiums because I think that they are just gorgeous. Just nasturtiums in general. Not necessarily those cultivars, but. And then our radishes. These have been in about a month now, so they're getting close. And then between those next 2 pieces of drip tape, I have a second succession growing. And just to remind you, I alternated in the square feet. I did cherry and then plum purple. So it's cherry, plum purple, cherry, plum purple. So, and then over along that side of the bed, I put in some zinnias. Because yes, flowers do belong in the veggie garden, friends. Okay, these tomatoes are, so the front 2 are yellow pear. The center are chocolate cherry, and doesn't that just sound like dessert, y'all? I'm very, very excited to try those because it's a variety. Yellow pear I've tried, green zebra I've tried, love those. But I'm trying a few varieties I've never grown before, so that's always fun. And then these 2 here are the same variety. They're the honeycomb that is in the container on the deck. And I went after work today and got me some fish fertilizer because these poor little tomatoes have kind of gotten off to a slow start with the cold and all of that. So I'm going to give them a little bit of fish fertilizer and some Epsom salts See if we can get them going. Okay, and then these yellow granics, because we are not in Vidalia, Georgia, these were planted on the 9th of April. So we are pretty close, I think, to starting to spoon those in. And Hollis over at Hollis and Nancy's homestead does a great video on onions and growing big onions, and he calls it ringing in. It's basically the same thing. It's just moving dirt away from the bulb to give it a little bit more room to expand. Not sure why it's called spooning. Maybe because farmers used to bring a spoon out. I don't know. Okay, here, more squashes. These, this time, are butternut. So they're looking good. I have acorn planted over here. They went in the same time, but I don't see much in the way of acorn. So I'm going to have to look those up and see when they're supposed to have germinated. I may not be getting any acorn squash this year. That's okay. I think I'm going to have plenty of the other sort. And then these tomatoes are looking lovely. Again, they'll get a shot of the fish fertilizer and the Epsom salts, and we'll see if we can nourish them a little bit. And then so far so good on these cute cantaloupes, friends. I was just sure they'd be goners by now, but they're looking pretty good. I think that one there on the end has DED'd, but the other two are hanging in there. Maybe as we start to get a little bit warmer, they'll bounce back. And these marigolds are looking lovely. And I know last time I talked about not putting your indeterminate tomatoes in tomato cages. Well, I'm using my tomato cages to support my peppers. And they are looking well. I've got a weed back there I'll have to remove. And then between these two rows of tomatoes, I have planted some, let me see, some Clemson spineless, some red burgundy, and some Cajun jewel okra. And then between these rows of tomatoes, I'm not seeing anything just yet, but over here we have golden, red, and bright lights Swiss chard. So that'll be fun. I love chard. Stir fry is my jam. So here we are, and it is May the 17th, I think. 18th, excuse me, May the 18th. And things are looking quite good. Back around here. So yeah, everything's looking good. Thank you for coming on another little visit in the garden with me. And I hope that you have done something to soothe your heart and ease your stress and just be your authentic self. So until next time, you be you.